Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jacob Fish here, and today we're talking about how to make $1,000 a month, a big number, in dividends, so entirely passive income. Of course, we're going to go over the amount you need in your portfolio for various dividend ranges, but we're also going to go over my dividend portfolio and another dividend portfolio to hit some higher potential. Then we're going to discuss 5 monthly dividend stocks. So really this video is going to have a ton of information on dividend portfolios, dividend stocks, and how to achieve your dividend goals. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the portfolio values that you need based on the dividend rate. This is also for a yearly dividend income of $12,000 rather than that monthly income of $1,000, because it'd be hard to find a portfolio of entirely monthly dividend stocks offering you a nice range and broad exposure to the overall market. So this just considers yearly yield. Anyways, with a 1% yield, you need a $1.2 million portfolio. 4% is only a $300K portfolio, and an 8% yield, which is achievable, is a $150,000 portfolio. 8% yield is again hard to come by, but there are stocks out there that offer near 8%, like XOM or Exxon. It used to be 7.5%. Well, I guess it kind of came down with lowering stock prices. That's just close to that 8% we mentioned. Let's move into my dividend portfolio that has a weighted yield of 3.31%, which I still think is a great number to hit while still allowing for some growth potential to occur. In a few back tests using TradeStation, because I could not find a good alternative that let me back test the 36 stocks that I have in my portfolio, a $10,000 portfolio value increased to almost $50,000. That's just about a 400% increase in value of the portfolio over 10 years. So it's definitely not bad and will grow, which is kind of what I'm looking for. That doesn't even take into account the dividends that you receive in the portfolio, because TradeStation just didn't offer that, you know? The compounded annual return for this portfolio is 12.82%. So let's do some quick math on that one. $10,000 compounded 10 years at a 17.82% rate while putting $500 into it, because you couldn't do that on TradeStation either. That was just the base 10K into a 50K portfolio. So anyway, if you put $500 into this portfolio, it would end up with a value at the end of 10 years of $191,000. At the end of those 10 years, this portfolio will be paying about $6,300 a year in dividends. Again, it doesn't use dividend reinvestments because I couldn't find a program that let me do that, and I couldn't go and backtest each individual stock myself. Let's go over the 36 stocks of the portfolio really quick though. I'll add a link to it in my Discord as well. We have Apple, AbbVie, Cardinal Health, The Clorox Company, Campbell's, Chevron, Disney, Digital Reality Trust, Dow, Consolidated Edison, General Dynamics, IBM, Innovative Industrial Properties, Intel, J&J, Kimberly-Clark, Coca-Cola, Kroger, McDonald's, 3M, Microsoft, NextEra, O Realty, PepsiCo, Procter & Gamble, Prudential Financial, QYLD, Sherwin-Williams, Seagate, Constellation Brands, AT&T, Molson Coors, Target, Verizon, Walgreens, and Xcel Energy. It ranges from an average of 2 to 3% of each stock in my portfolio, making up the whole value of 100% at the end in M1 Finance. That's just my portfolio, but if you wanted a portfolio with a slightly higher return, or yield I should say, then check out SPHD, which is an ETF with around 4% dividend yield. You could adjust the tickers in there to your liking, just in case you want to kind of steal the ETF from them and just kind of put all of those tickers that are in the ETF into an M1 portfolio and balance it as you see fit to give yourself a higher or lower dividend yield depending on how much growth or dividends that you wanted at your personal time in your portfolio investment. Mine is definitely skewed towards growth, but all the stocks in there offer dividends, unlike my growth portfolio where we have companies like Tesla or Amazon or Space that don't even offer dividends at all. Let's take a look at the growth potential for SPHD, at least since the inception, since January of 2013. If you invested 10K, reinvested dividends, because we can do that with this one, and put $500 a month into the ETF, then you would have a final balance of over $91,000. That's pretty good. That's really not bad. That's kind of close to just reinvesting $500 a month over the 10 years in the portfolio that I created. Only $100,000 off. Anyways, in 2020, your annual income would be $3,577 for the year. That's last year when everything kind of collapsed on that dividend portfolio, or that portfolio SPHD alone, which is kind of nice. You're still going to be getting paid in dividends even though the market is dropping. What if you don't want to rely on these annual dividends or quarterly or whenever the company decides to give them to you? You want that monthly dividend and you want it all the time. So let's go over some, 5 names real quick that all offer monthly dividends. Right off the bat, we have the monthly dividend yielding company. It has a yield of 4.51%. That's yearly. So in this case, you'll make your investment value times 4.6 divided by 12 to figure out how much you'll make monthly. Or you can take the distribution and multiply it by the number of shares you have. If they offer like a 12 cents dividend and you have 200 shares, you do 200 times 12. Number 2 is STAG, S-T-A-G, which houses lots of retail or e-commerce industrial properties. Think like Amazon Warehouse, which is the biggest customer of them. Actually, they offer a 4.36% dividend yield. Again, pretty good. Number 3 is glad for you to be here, which is a riskier one because they take on debt from smaller to mid-market companies. Small businesses that need loans and didn't get the PPP loan, or they need loans, and because they are in the loaning business, their dividend is a whopping 7.85%. It's pretty big. Number 4 though is TEAF, T-E-A-F, who invest into their 3 asset classes: social, sustainable, and energy infrastructure. Think things like education for the first one, housing, and senior living facilities. They offer a dividend yield of 6.5% in the form of monthly dividends. Last number, we have LTC, which is another REIT because, REITs generally offer the highest and most frequent dividends. They are a landlord specializing in senior living properties. If people keep getting older, then we'll kind of continue to need senior living properties. They offer a dividend yield of 5.37%. So all pretty good monthly dividend companies. It's kind of like you're getting monthly rent, if you think about it. If they're all REITs, they're all collecting monthly rent, unless of course they sign a yearly contract with the company. But either way, they pay everyone out monthly because they're also getting paid monthly. It kind of makes sense for a REIT. This is investment advice though. If you like these portfolios, consider doing a bit more research on them to see if you maybe want to get into them yourself or not get into them because they're terrible ideas, or whatever you prefer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like monthly dividend companies, or just dividend companies in general, or if you don't even buy stocks that give dividends, or if you just like growth stocks, I upload videos on Monday and Friday on travel and finance. So if that's something interesting to you, hit that little subscribe button down there. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.